Just following on from Tuesday's game against Portadown, you've had a wee bit of time to reflect. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I thought tough place to go, and we were expecting a tough game, which it was. Game changed obviously after they got the man sent off, but I thought even before that we'd played some good football, as did they. They're a talented young team, but I thought we were in control of the game, and then once they went to 10 men and the penalty, then we took complete control of the game, and I thought we played some really good football. Probably could have played a bit better. I'm never satisfied with that. There's always room for improvement, but I thought the standard of our play and what we tried to do was really positive, so happy with that.
And it turns out it's actually your first away win in the league all season. It's something I want to build on, and these away games coming up.
Yeah, as I'd said before, it's simple to look at the home games and away games and say you haven't won away from home since a certain date or this season, but I always said we're the only team in the league that all of our 100% of our away games were against the top six, including Crusaders twice. Nobody in the league had played as many teams away as we did out of the top six. To give you an idea, I believe Larne has played 18 total games, but they've played 12 of them at home. And that's just the way the imbalance of the league falls at this time. So it was good to get an away win. It's good to win away against anyone, and it was a really good performance, so we're hoping to build on that.
And when you look at the league table, we've got games in hand. Does it leave us in a nice position that we can potentially get a run going, catch up on the teams ahead of us with those games in hand?
Definitely. I mean, you'd always rather have the points in the bag than the games in hand, but it is what it is. We've played X amount of games. Other teams have played 3 and 4 more than us, and that's just the way the league has fallen in terms of there's been COVID breaks, there's been rain, there's been snow, so that's nobody's fault. It's just the way we are at the minute. But yeah, we have a lot of games to catch up on. We've 3 more away from home coming quick, and then we'll have a mixture of home and away over the next couple of months. But no, looking forward to the games coming fast now.
On Saturday, it's another trip down the road to Warren Point against Barry Gray's side. They're always tough games when we play Warren Point.
Definitely. We played there last year. We did well. We won handily down there last year, but this is not the same Warren Point team, not by a long stretch. They played well here at the Oval. They've taken points off a lot of the top teams this year. They're hard to beat. They're well organised. They've got experience. They're strong physically. They're fit. So it's going to be a big challenge for us down there. Don't know what the conditions will be like in terms of the pitch, the weather. So we'll wait and see what the gods bring. But no, we're going to have to be up for it. Any team in this league, as I always say to the players, one result doesn't guarantee the next one. Meaning a win doesn't guarantee the next win, or a loss doesn't guarantee another loss. And that's why any sport is brilliant. If you don't show up on the day, you don't win. And that's the nature of sport. So generally, if you show up to play, you're prepared to play, and the talent comes out, then you've got a good chance of winning. So we have to show up and be prepared as if we're playing the top team in the league.
And do you think that sort of the break with not playing matches, that's maybe helped the group in a sense that it's had more time to gel, to train together, to get to know each other in training? Has that perhaps helped the side?
Yes and no. With a big squad, you'd prefer games, because if you're playing, like we had a 10-day break, and let's say it was a normal season of Saturday and Saturday and Saturday, there'd be long spells where players don't get to play because they're either on the bench or they're out of the 18. So I'd actually prefer to be playing. But yes, it did give us an opportunity to train over the last 10 days. We didn't play on the Tuesday night against Ballymena. The boys trained on Wednesday and Thursday, and then the game was called off on Saturday against Coleraine, and we had the team in on Sunday and Monday. So it did give us an opportunity to train. Helped some of the players, gel together, like you said. But we also lost, Caleb Marin due to a stomach bug. So he would have been available for those 2 games, and then he wasn't on the last game. So it sort of swings and roundabouts. You gain something and you lose something. We just would prefer to be playing right now.
And from your perspective, obviously fans are loving these Tuesday, Saturday games. Lots of football to look forward to, but from professional side of things, what sort of demands is it hard, the demands of games coming that thick and fast?
If Tuesday, Saturday, I have no complaints at all. I mean, that's a common sort of fixture list. I mean, if you look at the English Championship or League One, English Championship really demand. I mean, they're playing Saturday, Tuesday all season, and people might say, yeah, but they're full-time professionals. But yeah, they are, but they still have to play at a more demanding league than here. So Saturday, Tuesdays, I can live with that. Players can live with that. If you ask a lot of players, they actually prefer it than showing up to training on a Tuesday night. So it's demanding as long as you get if you've planned out your season so far and you've got your weekly rhythm organised in terms of your recovery sessions and your medical sessions with the physiotherapists, then you should be fine to play Saturday, Tuesday. And if that's continuous for the rest of the year, I think the teams that manage it the best will probably do better. The teams that don't manage it well will probably start to suffer a little bit as the games accumulate and fatigue accumulates in the players. So you'll notice a lot of the teams around the league have started to rotate players, some by choice and some through necessity with injury. But that's the nature of football. That's from the highest levels of football all the way down to the lowest levels. You got to manage your squad appropriately.
And having that squad, even on Tuesday night, we're able to bring back Dale Gorman into the side. It's having that big squad and being able to bring that calibre player in.
Yeah, I mean, Dale played well in a number of games earlier in the season and then was out for a while, and then we had the 2-week or 10-day break that Niffle brought in for the COVID break, if you want to call it that. So didn't get to play, and then we had games cancelled, didn't get to play. So it's been a long period where some players didn't get to play, not through any particular reason other than there was stoppages. But yeah, it's nice to have that quality, and we know the quality that a lot of the players have. I mean, when you look at last Saturday's game and we see Tuesday's game, and you see players like Rory Donnelly and Jimmy McDermott not even in the squad. We do have a strong squad, but players also need to play, and I'm aware of that, and they will play. If we're going to be playing Saturday, Tuesday from now until the end of May, everyone's going to play their part. And it was nice even for the likes of Mal Smith to get on for a few minutes. Mal's been outstanding, comes to training every day, puts it in, and it's just been hard to get him into games. And he can play multiple positions, which is great, and he'll play his part. So the players that haven't been playing a lot, as I tell them, you're going to play a part this season, and they will.
And shifting things a wee bit, it's obviously difficult at the minute to try and keep fans enthused because they're not coming to games. There's been some great community work going on at the moment with food parcels being delivered to the local people in East Belfast. Do you want to just give us a bit of an insight what's been going on behind the scenes?
I mean, Glentoran historically has always done a lot in the community, and we've tried to build on that this year. And the volunteers we have around the club are continually doing their part in the community, whether that be delivering food parcels, paying visits to older pensioners that live alone. So that continues, and we just tried to, I don't want to say upgrade it, we tried to expand it, that's the word, and we're doing that. And we have, like I said, we have a brilliant group of volunteers around the club, and this past week it was nice. I believe it was over 115 families received food parcels, but that's ongoing. That's not just a one-off. You know, there's things like that happening every week. In fact, I came into the club this morning and I can see food parcels sitting ready to go out again. So yeah, it's a credit to the volunteers, a credit to the people behind the scenes that don't get a lot of credit for what they do, but you know, we're very thankful to have them.
And that brings me on to my next point. How do you sort of assess where the project's at the minute? There's been talks about future plans and things to look forward to. It's getting fans very excited.
Yeah, I mean, as I always said, the game's about players first, and the fans and the community, you know. And of course the fans are interested to know where we're going. And as I said, I believe it was last week, you know, the project is right on track to where we want to be, and where we're going to, which was to take this club, as I said, get the club out of debt, move towards a full-time model, be competitive, make the Oval a hard place to come, try to qualify for Europe, win a trophy, and then eventually try to win a league. And we did all of those in the first year. That was a 3-year plan. Obviously we haven't won a league, but that's the ultimate target. Will that happen this year or next year? We're going to try. Will it happen beyond that? We're going to keep pushing. So we're right on track, probably ahead of schedule in the first year, which raised expectations. And I don't have a problem with that. The fans are demanding here at Glentoran. It's a big club with a lot of history. So it's nice to see that the vast majority of fans are really positive with where the project is going. And I get messages all the time from fans, you know, with letters to the club, people stopping by the club, to say, look, we're really excited where the club is going. So that's nice to see. But the nature of football is there's always a few that will doubt where the project is going. I get that, but I have no doubt that the project is moving in the right direction. And when I look at the squad and I look at the effort they put in, and I look at the quality of our performance the other night, it's really positive where we're going.
And this is a question that sort of hasn't been asked, is, with more vaccinations taking place and potentially the country moving out of a pandemic, maybe in a not too distant future, hopefully, how can football change and grow and be better as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, I think from a football side, from a coaching standpoint, it's forced, I know myself, to try and be a lot, you've had a lot of challenges this year, starting from last March, to be creative and come up with new ideas and new ways of training, and so from a coaching perspective, it's been good, it's been positive, because we've had to adapt continually. There's been challenges every week thrown at us, whether that be through government restrictions or league restrictions or players sick, so that's been a positive. Coaches have been forced to adapt and learn. Football in general, I think at this time right now in Northern Ireland, the rate has dropped dramatically. There's talk of schools returning in March. There'll be gradual easing of restrictions. So I think our league has got the potential to finish all of the games. I believe there's a meeting this week. I saw an article where Gerard Lawler was saying there's going to be a meeting at some point of NIFL clubs, UEFA and the IFA to have a discussion on the number of games. But the 38 game calendar is still possible. If you look at the total number of Tuesday, Saturdays, it's still possible. There's also no rule against playing Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, if need be at the end of the season. Would it be demanding? Absolutely. Is it optimal? No. But if it means to get a season complete, every other league that I see, they're talking about finishing their campaign, whether that be England, Scotland, Championship. They're talking about finishing the league. But I'm now hearing whispers of, how do we end our league? If the rate's dropping and vaccinations are increasing, then surely we should look on the positive side. The glass is half full here, and we have elite status. We've managed really well. NIFL's done a great job with the introduction of the testing. It was extended this next month with generous donations from 2 clubs, which was gratefully accepted. Thanks for that. So it's nice that we can continue. I think the players do feel safer, the staff feel safer. So I'm confident that we can get through the entire league calendar, and it's going to be an exciting run-in.
And there's been a lot of talk of the curtailment policies and how the league could potentially finish. What's your view on it?
Well, the curtailment policies were written obviously before the league started, and nobody could foresee what was coming. And I believe they were written with good intentions. I don't think there was anything there. I think it was they were written and designed with good intentions, meaning if COVID had to stop the league, then to try to avoid the arguments that happened last year with the curtailment. So I think they were written objectively at that time to try to prevent the sort of argument that happened last year. The first level of curtailment is at the 22 game, but as I said in a previous interview with GlensTV, I would assume that when they proposed the 22 game model that it would have been 11 home games and 11 away. So I don't know the answer to how that would work if you just reach 22, the threshold of 22, because some teams might have played 13, 14 home games, 8 away games. Other teams might have been reversed that. So I don't know how that would work. But with the way the COVID rate is dropping, with the way the vaccination rate is increasing, it seems like the surge has somewhat passed. That's not to say there couldn't be another surge, but it seems like we will be able to get much further than the 22 games and beyond the 33 games, which is another curtailment threshold. I'm confident we can get to the 38. So like I said, I'm not complaining about any of the curtailment protocols that were put in place, because they were written and agreed by all the clubs within NIFL, and they were written with good intentions, and that's the main thing to get across. And I know I've been criticised in a recent article in a Belfast newspaper that I was some sort of complaining about a 20 game scenario. I have never complained about a 23 game scenario, but as it's happened regularly here with some of our local media outlets, they take a story and create a headline to create conflict using my name, which is convenient for them. So that's why I've started to do only interviews for GlensTV, the likes of Belfast Live or the BBC, because people can hear my words, they can see me speak. So that's, again, I would ask some of our local media outlets to avoid creating headlines that create conflict. That's not what we're here for. We're here to try to complete a season. We're here to do our best for local football. We're trying to improve local football, and I think we're doing that.
And just finally, another quick question. There's been a lot spoken about in the media about, you know, the abuse sometimes some players are taken from Premier League level, the amateur league level, coaches, you know. What's your view on it in the modern world in terms of social media, the great tool that it is? Potentially there's a darker and more sinister side of it as well that can have an impact on individuals.
Yeah, look, I've said it recently in an interview that social media has become a platform for the cynical. That's plain and simple. And people don't read articles, people don't listen to interviews, people read headlines and see a clickbait headline and they comment on the headline, and then a friend comments on his friend's comment. So it's ever decreasing circles of ignorance, meaning I didn't read the article but I commented on it, and then my friend, to be more cynical, posts something more cynical. So that's what a lot of social media has become. It was never intended to be that. It was intended to be a social platform for people to communicate. But as we've seen in recent times from across the globe, whether it be in the USA with the elections, whether it be here in football, whether it be racist abuse, homophobia, whatever you want to look at. And I get it. That's what a lot of social media has become. Unfortunate. And I would tell any player, any sports person, you want to feel better about yourself, cancel your social media. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. The people are not your friends. They're followers. So it's not a discussion forum. It's, if you want to post something, post it. But it doesn't turn into a discussion. So if it's used for the right means and what it was intended to be, for business use, for keeping in touch with friends and family and building your social network, then I get it. It's a valuable tool. But like I said, it's become a platform for the cynical, and some of the abuse should be condemned.